Oh man, y'all done did it again. So I had heard this was turning into a thing again, and then finally the video graced its way across my timeline about the guy Wallo talking about like the supporting businesses and everything, and how they're talking about how the internet and everybody's all in an uproar about it. I saw a couple people talk about it. And so far, most of the people who I've heard covered most of the basics. If you're going to have a business, you got to have a good product. If you want people to support you, you got to have a good product. You got to market well. You got to be consistent. All the things that make a good business. So far, what I haven't heard anybody say, though, is the other reason why this idea horrendously fails, especially in the black community. And I know it because I've seen it a billion times, especially in the dance world. So you got a thing where you want to start a business or whatever, and you want to do whatever. Two huge mistakes that I see off the rip often. One, people don't know how to price properly. So then they either, and actually I talked about this in a conversation, but I don't know if it was covered in the videos that I saw. People don't know how to price properly, so they will either drastically overprice or drastically undercut themselves to just ruin everything for themselves. I watched people, especially in the dance community, like, I've had this conversation more times than I can count where I'm like, you're not charging appropriately. And it's because a lot of times people don't know how, like, to price to the market of what it is so that you don't ruin it either way. I learned this when I worked directly under a business owner who sold things for wholesale, retail, consignment. And he was telling me, like, you can't price too far past the median, basically, because it ruins the market. So, why is it tripping like this? So, that's the one part that happens. People either over or under. They rarely hit the mark when it comes to pricing. But the other factor that's even worse is the discount idea. This is rampant in the black community when you know people that own a business. And anybody who knows somebody who owns a business or own one themselves knows this is true. People automatically think that the way to support somebody who's trying to start a business or owns a business is to patronize them under the guise of getting a friends and family discount. It happens all the time. And the crazy thing is, I work with business owners. I've been 1099 for at least a decade. But the one thing that I don't luckily have to deal with a lot of is people always asking me to provide my services at a discount. Every once in a while, somebody will say, like, hey, it'd be great if you could do this, but I understand if you're busy. I don't want to take you off of another job where you will make money, but if you're available, it would be awesome if. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with you saying, hey, this would be awesome if you could volunteer time for this, yada, yada, yada. We won't take up too much of the time. Whatever you can do for us would be awesome. Like, I've had somebody ask me to DJ a party, and then they were like, whenever you gotta go, that's fine. I know you got other stuff that day. Don't cancel anything else for us. I'm cool with that. But that's not what people do. They will ask for discounts. They will ask for freebies. They be talking about, ooh, if you could do such and such for me, I'm gonna have so many people there. You could pay. That's one of the things that ruins it more than I won't say more than anything else, but it's up there. The discount joints. It's like, and here's the thing, is this is an effort to try to copy something that comes from other cultures that we just don't understand. And I know this because I've dealt with and done business in these other cultures. One, when they do business with each other, they don't ask for discounts. In fact, they will pay more because they want to push the person ahead. Two, they are accountable to each other. If you do something terrible, they are going to tell you. And if you can't listen, it's going to be a problem because they feel like it makes them all look bad. And it's not a question whether you're going to patronize or not. It's just a matter of how can you fit it in and how can we make it work. But it's trying to copy something that you don't have a concept of because you ain't been around it. If you haven't been in the Jewish communities, if you haven't been in the Korean communities, if you haven't been in the other various Asian or Indian communities or whatever to know how this works, you're gonna screw it up. And that's what happens all the time. Other than that, bro is completely right. If your business is good, if your product is good, if you do a good job, it don't matter. I have never needed to run into the hood and scream, hey, support me. Never, ever needed to do, ever. I do just fine. But it's because I'm good at what I do. I don't have to coast on people throwing me business just because. And if you asking for that, you're not ready anyway.